What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Krupin, and on today's episode of the Scoop Podcast, I have a special guest. I'm really excited. Mercedes Gomez. I know her from YouTube. I have been watching her videos, binge watching her videos. Not only does she have super clickable thumbnails, she has really good educational content on a variety of topics that I love. And she's not in the dog waste removal industry, and she's not really even in the home service industry, but I was able to connect with her through video. And so that's why I feel like it's very important for us to have this conversation in 2024. How are we marketing our business, right? A lot of times we're doing it online, and video is so important. So thank you so much for joining me today, Mercedes.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be really cool. Um, we talked a little bit off air, which I probably should have saved. I should have saved it for when we were on air. But I found your videos. A friend of mine sent me one of your Amazon videos, and that is like your top. It's your top video right now. I think you're at like 15,000 views and some change, which is amazing. Views are s- Views are really really hard to get these days right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
It's so freaking hard. But and this is our first time actually talking face to face, but I have connected with you for quite some time over the video. So if you could just like how did you get started with video? Like what led you to video?
So that's a great question. I actually just filmed a YouTube video all about this, but I knew I wanted to do YouTube for a really long time. And so I was learning, like, as much as I could about YouTube for when I would get started. My problem was I didn't know what I wanted to talk about on my channel, like what kind of content I wanted to make. I had little hobbies and little side hustles here and there. And every time I would search that niche on YouTube, I would find that there's already a ton of creators in that niche, or it's really oversaturated, and I was just thinking, like, how am I going to stand out? Like, I don't see myself standing out. So it took me even like a couple years, I would say, before I found the Amazon influencer program, which is what I eventually started my channel on. Now, how that came about was I had heard about the Amazon influencer program multiple times, and for some reason, it took like the second or third time before I actually did a Google search on it and applied and thought, you know what, maybe I could actually do this. So once I actually applied, I searched YouTube like I had been doing with all my other side hustles, all the other hobbies that I had done. And I used vidIQ for like keyword research. So when I typed in Amazon influencer program, it gave me this score of like a 79. And all the light bulbs started going off in my head, and I was like, this is it. This is what I need to make my YouTube channel about. And then from there I can slowly like branch off and talk about other things that I'm passionate about. I can teach people, I can motivate people, but I needed a start. And so when I found the Amazon influencer program, I was like, this is it. And so the day I applied was the day I made my first YouTube video. I didn't think any further into it. I just pressed record, just started filming. And then from there on, I just started documenting my journey. And that's really what made me feel comfortable, putting out these videos. Is to me, I was just documenting my journey. But in turn, it actually ended up being a really good educational tool for a lot of people who wanted to get started in the Amazon influencer program. And the reason my thumbnails and everything were pretty good as a beginner was because I had been doing all this prior research leading up to me finding my niche and finding what I wanted to start this channel on.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 20. I just turned 27 in
Okay.
December.
Okay. So you're not 30 yet. You still got it all together. So for your generation, like was did you grow up with video? Like were you on camera? Was that something that was just very natural for you?
I mean, when I was like growing up as a baby, my grandma, she was recording me, but it was never me, sitting in front of a camera talking. I think I came up in like this middle generation where I like part of my childhood, we didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have all this good stuff yet, we didn't have YouTube. But as I got older, that stuff started coming out. And so it took me a little bit to get immersed into all of it. But I just really have this passion to teach people. And I knew the best way to teach people was going to be on something like YouTube. So even though I wasn't, really good in front of the camera, I knew I could learn. I knew I could figure it out. And I really, saw through other YouTubers that they are shy too. It's scary for everybody. You just have to do it and you'll eventually learn and get more comfortable with it. So I wasn't nervous about that. For me, it was more, what am I going to start this channel about? How am I going to build this audience? How are people going to find me? And so that was the main thing and the main problem I had.
I can relate to that because I also have like a teacher's heart, but I'm like, I don't know what to teach about. And so when I started the poop scooping thing, I did the same thing. I just was like, okay, well, I know a little bit about this. So let's just turn on the camera, let's hit record and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you find that niching down and being so specific can really help you out, especially in the beginning.
What do you record your videos on, tech wise?
Tech-wise, so I started with the Sony ZV-1 because it was more, like, affordable at the time, and it was, like, a good base model. You don't have interchangeable lenses, it's just like a point and shoot type of camera. But I really loved some of the Sony features. Like they have this really good thing called product viewfinder, where if you like hold up a product in front of the camera, it'll autofocus to it and blur the background. And so you don't even have to have a ton of camera knowledge and know, how to get that setting or how to get a really nice blurry background. So Sony does that all for you. So then I started looking for a little higher end camera, and so I found the Sony ZV-E10, which has interchangeable lenses, but it's still similar to the Sony ZV-E1, which is what I started on. So now I have both those cameras, to get me some different angles, to experiment with different things. But my main camera currently is the Sony ZV-E10.
Okay, I do everything off my cell phone.
Really?
Yes,
Y-
everything is off my cell phone.
Wow. I mean, that's a good thing. And, something I tried to tell myself when I started was you don't have to have everything perfect. You don't have to have the best, camera, the best microphone, the best gear. You can start with the cell phone.
And so I had bought a Nikon M50 and I got rid of it because I was like, this is too hard. It was stopping me. It was stopping me from producing content. And I think that
Yeah.
right. And so what are some barriers that kind of got in your way when you were trying to create the content?
Part of me is a perfectionist in a way, but I always try to remember that quote that done is better than perfect. So everything doesn't have to be perfect. Video was something I had learned about while I was doing my YouTube research, with learning how to do thumbnails, learning how to use keywords and titles and descriptions, right? So I had seen all these other YouTube videos where their picture quality is amazing. And then here I am, trying to figure out this like key light situation, these box lights, and how do I get my lighting right? How do I get my exposure right to get this blurry background? So that was a bit frustrating in the beginning. So I think that really played a part in me getting that Sony ZV-1 camera, because I wanted my quality to be as good as possible.
You were talking about keywords. Can you talk about that a little bit? How do you utilize those?
It's a lot of trial and error, a lot of experimentation, really. I do have vidIQ as a big like help. They kind of make it easy now. Like you can start typing in your title and it gives you a score, and it starts telling you like if your title's too long or too short, do you have enough keywords? Do you not have enough? And so I just try to utilize those things as much as I can. Obviously, my focus is not, on keywords or not on YouTube videos specifically. So I'm doing a lot of stuff with product reviews, reaching out to sellers, talking to people about the Amazon influencer program. That's my focus. So I don't have a whole lot of time to focus on YouTube and keywords and video and lighting, but I just try to find the most efficient ways, and that's using things like vidIQ, using some extensions that can really help you. And to me, that's been helping me a ton.
Yeah, and I think with YouTube, how this kind of goes with our businesses as like the pooper scoopers or like the service industry. If we create a YouTube channel with our business name and we start uploading videos as if the client will find them, like how we close a gate or how we do this service or how we sanitize, because it's hooked to Google, when people search in the keywords dog waste removal, whatever the service is,
Mhm.
your videos from YouTube will pop up. That's what
Yeah,
happens with me.
that's
So
awesome.
many of my YouTube videos are found on Google by my customers.
That's awesome. That's really good. Because,
Yeah.
like, it's funny, a lot of people think about YouTube and they want to get monetized so fast, right? And they think the ad revenue is going to be life changing. But in actuality, if you have a business, if you can use your YouTube to drive traffic and grow your business, I feel like that's the most effective way to use YouTube. You kind of have to get the whole monetization thing out of your head. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great milestone, but then once you get it and you see, okay, I only made a couple $100 for the month, you get discouraged, or you're gonna realize I'm putting in a lot more work for this couple $100, and then you stop. And YouTube is a long game, right? We all know that. So you have to do things that are going to keep you in YouTube and keep you consistent for a long time.
Yeah, my channel's still not monetized, and
Really?
it pains me. I'm like, "Oh goodness, why am I not monetized?" I don't have the watch hours, and I went through that just like we were talking about, where maybe you do a video that you really put your heart into, and it
Mhm,
doesn't get the views, and you're like, "Ah, like what was it?" And then something that you don't think's gonna pop off, that one gets a ton, like a ton of views, and
yeah.
so yeah, you have to have a purpose. So like, what to keep going, what is your purpose to keep going on those down days?
Yeah. So my purpose has always been to motivate people and to teach people. Like, that's something I wanted to do from the beginning, from when I started thinking about what I was going to talk about on YouTube, right? So you would be surprised, like, even having a really small YouTube channel, like, I'm close to the 4,000 subs, but I still consider myself really small, and you would be amazed by how many people you touch, how many people you are helping, how many people you are motivating. I get so many DMs, and, people reach out to me in numerous different ways, and they're telling me that I'm motivating them, that I'm helping them, that they love my content, that I'm so inspiring, and that alone keeps me going. Like, I feel like I have enough motivation to keep going for like 5, 10 years at this point, because I never expected this. And that's also helped me a lot, having zero expectation coming into all of this. Like, a lot of people come into this thinking, okay, give myself a month and I'm going to blow up. That's not how you have to, like, you have to come in here with no expectation and love what you're doing. Otherwise, like I said, you're not going to be consistent.
Yeah, your first video that I seen was the Amazon influencer, and you've been doing different type of videos. So what's your favorite type of video to make right now?
You know, so the Amazon influencer thing, like, even though I started my channel about it, I thought I was going to be able to focus on side hustles, books that I'm reading, motivation, all this different types of content, right? But then those videos for me get no views. Like, the Amazon influencer stuff is what got me monetized, is what got me to where I'm at today, because I think it's such a niche category and people are searching for it. People are looking for content on the Amazon influencer program. I don't know, it's like a hit or miss. I love making content in general. I can talk about the Amazon influencer program all day, and that really helps me being kind of like a pro in that market. Like, I know what I'm talking about because I do it every day. I live in it. But the content that I really want to get into and I want people to start watching is more of the content about like business, like what it's like to be an entrepreneur, somebody who's trying to achieve financial freedom completely on their own, start their own business. Somebody, like, I want my journey to be seen. I want you to see it from the beginning to the end, because a lot of people just see the end and see,
Mhm.
oh, they made it, but you don't see the struggle and how many times I've had to go back to a job, how many times, like, the idea I had didn't work. And so I want to show that kind of stuff on my channel.
How disheartening is it? And how do you handle it when you do post that type of content that you're like, "Oh, this is what I want to show," and then the views just aren't there? Like, what's that mental process like for you?
The way I looked at it was just, I started making a ton of Amazon influencer content, so I have to expect that. That's what people are on my channel for. But moving on to 2024, I'm really trying to diversify that. I'm trying to talk less about the Amazon influencer program and less about my earnings, and put out more what I call evergreen content, because what
Mhm.
I found myself doing a lot was creating these earnings videos, right? So I would show November earnings or like November 2023 earnings. And in my mind, I'm like, why are people going to go back and watch that 2 years from now? Right? Like, yes, those videos gained me a lot of views right now, but over time, I don't think they are. So the content that I need to make and focus on is the content that's evergreen, that people can watch years from now. And even though it has a little bit of views right now, I think over time it'll eventually overtake the Amazon influencer content.
Because you're thinking about that long game. So For you guys that are listening, when we post on our business page about our service and they're like, "Oh goodness, nobody is commenting on it or nobody's doing anything with it." You just have to understand that you need to think about it long term. You need to just build up your social medias and eventually with the consistency, it
Exactly.
will. Yeah, it'll gain
Exactly.
traction. Now,
Yes, for sure.
N now in one of the episodes, I think it was another, interview that you did where you kinda talked about the dark side of social media and getting some heat about telling, like, the insider secrets. You wanna talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that interview actually came at the perfect time, and he really took advantage of that because I hadn't gotten any negative, really any negative feedback up until that point. And I had made a video where I kind of piggybacked off of somebody else's video. So somebody else had already talked about the stuff that I talked about in my video, but I guess the wrong person saw my video and came after me and said, what I had told people to do in my video was against Amazon rules, and she was saying I needed to be banned and that anybody that does this needs to be banned. And she really came after me. Like the first time she commented, I thought, out of sight, out of mind. Let me just delete this and move on. Well, she came at me from other YouTube channels. She went into Facebook group chats and had other people come and bash me. And so I started getting a flood of this negativity, which I was not used to. The way that I combated that was I just went to Amazon and started doing research. Did what I say really was that really against the rules? And the thing with Amazon and the Amazon influencer program is a lot of the stuff's not set in stone. It's not listed on, where you can read all the rules and you know exactly what you need to do. In this particular case, there was nothing that specifically stated what I did was against rules. Like, yeah, maybe she took it that way, or maybe something she read, what I said didn't correlate with what she read, something like that. And so she just came after me. So I reached out to other Amazon influencers and other YouTubers, and I asked them the same question, like, do you think what I did was wrong? Like, how should I handle this? And everybody searched it. I even reached out to Amazon myself, and they couldn't provide me the correct answer. So I just had to, distance myself, just ignore her, let her go off, let everybody say what they needed to say. And then by the time I posted my next video, everything was kind of fine. Kind of combat it. I think every case is different, but in this case, I tried to find the correct information because if I'm wrong, obviously I'm going to make another video correcting what I said. But I couldn't find where I was exactly wrong, where it 100% stated what I said was not true. So in that sense, I just kind of ignored it and moved on.
Well, because it's the wild, wild west right now with the Amazon, and
Yeah.
a lot of times we're on social media and we're putting out our highlight reels, right? And everything's fun and we're showing all the good stuff. But then when you have the bad days, when you don't want to show up on camera, when things get hot and heated in the comments or the DMs,
Yep.
that like how did you take care of yourself emotionally and mentally after all of that happened?
Honestly, I just tried to not let it get to me that bad. Like, obviously, it was a thought. Like, is this lady gonna cancel me? Is my YouTube channel over? Obviously, I had the
Right.
worst thoughts, right? And then having people, but okay, something that came out of this that was really awesome was I had loyal followers or subscribers that ended up seeing this lady's posts in group chats, and they wrote back to me and they defended me. So I had people out there that knew, I was coming from a good place. I don't mean to spread misinformation. I'm not trying to do something or tell you guys to do something that's going to get you banned. I'm trying to help. And so these people stood up for me. And so that really helped. That made me feel like I needed to keep going, keep making content, that there are good people out there, but there's obviously going to be negative. There's going to be trolls. And it's just something you kind of have to account for when you start this thing.
Now, are people mad that you're giving like the insider information?
In the very beginning, they were, but as of lately, like I'm talking about like the first month or so that I started, people are obviously like, why are you going to tell people how to do this? It's only going to make you make less money and it's going to make all of us make less money. And eventually the program's going to get shut down. And they're all thinking the worst. But I just told them, there's millions and maybe even billions of Amazon products. Like, we're going to be okay. This is a side hustle. This is a way to make extra money. You can't let that stop you. You can't be mad that I'm talking about the program. There's people are going to talk about it no matter what. It's going to spread. I'm sure you're spreading it to your friends. I'm sure you're spreading it to your family. Like, don't be selfish. I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to share this information. And in turn, it's helping me grow a channel. It's helping me grow a following. It's just, maybe he was mad that he didn't start a YouTube channel about it, or he's mad that he's not, so you just kind of have to take it for what it is and move on, like move forward. You know what you want to do. You know what your goals are. Just keep going.
Yeah, and I think it's important to like know in your heart and you have your purpose, right? You know that you wanted to teach people.
Hmm.
And when I started my Pooper Scooper channel, I know I had people that would be like, "Hey, don't give away too much. Don't give away the farm." And I would think the same thing. I'm like, "There's so many dog buttholes around that we have, there's so much to scoop." And I remember when I
Yeah.
was in church, Pastor Jason told me, he goes, "You can't live your life with with both hands closed. You have to like have one open so you can give and you can receive." And I really took that to heart.
Yep.
And
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, so when we're doing this kind of content and we're teaching the people, we are in such a blessed place to be able to learn this and be able to do what we're doing. So why not share it and
Mhm.
hopefully change somebody else's life,
Exactly.
you
Yep.
know?
And
Ah,
change yours too.
girl,
Because
it completely changed my life. Yeah.
we decided to put ourselves out there. Like, I could think there's so many people in the Amazon influencer program, but how many of those are speaking about it on YouTube? Not very many.
Right. And so let's talk about the videos. How would you rate the quality of your videos from like 1 to 10?
My YouTube videos
Oh, well,
or
no, not the
Amazon?
YouTube, your Amazon, just your how you review them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that process, everything about that, I just went in it completely blind, documented my journey, just learned as I went. When I started, I thought, I thought they had to be perfect. I thought I had to put a lot of time, do a lot of editing to these videos. And I quickly realized that the Amazon influencer program was a quantity game. It was about how many videos you can put out, how many products you can review as quick as possible. So once I noticed that, I just went pedal to the metal. Like, I just stepped on it, made as much videos as I could. And so all of my videos are about 1 to 2 minutes long. And I just grab a product, right? Like if it's my AirPods, I show it and I have that product view setting on my Sony camera. So it focuses on the product, blurs out the background. I speak about the product for about a minute and that's it. And so I'm able to upload these videos so quickly. I'm able to make them so quickly. At one point when I was, so into it, I was making 30 to 60 videos a night, just reviewing everything and anything that I could find. And I wasn't focusing on editing for the product reviews. For Amazon influencer, you don't have to edit, you don't have to add music, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to make thumbnails if you don't want to. But what I do is, because I have that really nice Sony product finder, I'll hold the product up. My background is all blurred except the product, and I'll just screenshot that and maybe sometimes add an arrow. Maybe, if I want to spend a little bit more time to stand out. If not, I just upload that as my thumbnail. And I think my Amazon storefront, if you guys ever checked it out, looks pretty nice and pretty simple because I just do those simple things. I don't, it's not that I'm trying to be faceless and I'm not just doing this movement, making these crazy videos with my smartphone. I'm actually using a camera. And I think that's how I stand out. And I saw somebody else making those kind of videos and their storefront looked really nice. So that's kind of the direction I followed.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that information carries over to the other socials too, because like you said, taking a screenshot and to make your cover photo. I do that with Instagram, and I do that with, I think it's just Instagram. I don't think you can do that with TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Um, and so what you were saying about not being perfect and just kind of getting the videos out and just trying to figure out like my store is a mess. It's not the cleanest, but I was still able to make $700 in 1 month. And
That's
my
awesome.
right, like that's crazy. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a car payment, like a car payment and a half, you know.
Yeah, the Amazon
Um,
influencer program, yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm curious, with any of your social media stuff, are you scripting out your videos or are you kind of just coming off the head, coming off the heart?
If I do script anything, it'll be like the intro or the outro where I just try to make a little catchy beginning. I'll write in my notebook, maybe while I'm coming up with the title or coming up with the video idea. I'll come up with like a couple sentences that I script out for the intro. But other than that, I'm just talking. And that's how I feel like I make the best videos because I'm not trying to remember word for word what did I write down, or I'm not trying to remember anything. What I enjoy doing is just making bullet points and
Mhm.
remembering to talk about these things, and then I just go off the dome. That's what helps me the best because I don't like stuttering and I don't want to remember, like I was saying, remember everything word for word. Now, the product reviews, I don't script that at all because I use these products. These products are products I actually have, I actually use, I know about them enough to be confident and just talk in front of the camera about the product. I don't have to script anything for those product reviews. So those go even quicker. But YouTube's a little bit harder, especially because I make a lot of like longer videos, longer form videos on YouTube because that's the strategy I went with because it helped my watch hours. Making these longer videos, you're going to have loyal subscribers that watch the entire thing. So by making longer YouTube videos, I've been able to skyrocket those watch hours.
I get shocked sometimes, like if I do something towards the end of a video and somebody comments about that, I'm like, holy crap, you watched this whole video. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a loyal subscriber right there.
I love it. Now, are you an organized person? Is your brain organized normally?
Oh my goodness. So I wish you could see how many tabs I have open on my Google Chrome.
Same. Same.
So everybody that sees it is like shocked at how many tabs I have, right? And so the way I look at it is like that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
So I try to be as organized as I can. I have a notebook. I try to write stuff down. I'm not a perfectionist at it. I don't use like Notion, all these special things. If
Those
anything,
are hard. It's hard to use
yeah,
Notion because it's just like another rabbit hole.
yeah, and then I guess because I want to be organized and I want my Notion to be perfect, and then if it doesn't
Mhm.
work out the way I want, I'm just like, I rather just write this down on paper. But I just use simple things like maybe my notes app on my phone. If I have a video idea on the go, I have my notebook right here beside me that I write down all my ideas in. I try to use a calendar and schedule things, but overall, I keep most of it in my head, which I know is not good. I either keep it in my head or I write it down on paper.
Yeah.
But I'm as organized as I feel like I can be and I can succeed with it, but maybe over time I have to work on, maybe making a calendar and being a little bit better.
Okay, so let's talk about like the flow, right? So we have the idea. We're like, okay, we're gonna do a video on this topic. What does the flow look like from start to hitting that publish button and then promoting it?
So I come up with the idea, maybe I write it down in my notebook, or maybe I write down a couple ideas. To start off this year, I wrote down 100 ideas that I can always go back on. Yeah, I know it's crazy and I don't even like most of them, but I just wanted to write in case I didn't have an idea. I could always go
Yeah.
back to this. I also just started doing weekly vlogs, and that's opened a ton of doors for me because I'll show something and then somebody's like, I want to learn more about that. So I have a bunch of ideas right now that I'm sitting on that I'm ready to do. So
You're
I'll write
motivating me to do those. I want to do vlogs, and
it
I was like, I can do these. I'm gonna do these.
Yeah, I mean, this is off topic, but it's a great time right now because we kind of talked about this, but doing videos with less editing and not having to put a bunch of music and not have to be so cinematic and perfect because I don't consider myself like a videographer, as somebody who produces movies or anything like that. So I'm not perfect with it. But during this time right now where people do not care about the editing, I figured why not make these vlogs? Why not put no music in it? Because I don't want copyright strikes, right? I don't want to deal with the music, making it better. I'm just gonna record. And so that's what I'm doing. But anyway, back on track. I'll write down the idea in my notebook, kind of sketch out some like an intro, bullet points, and I just set up. I have a little space right here in my living room where I have a backdrop. I turn on all my lighting, set up my box lights, put my camera, and I'll have my notebook in front of me and I just start talking. I'll talk. I'll Sometimes I'll even think the video is not going to come out good, and I'll just talk, ramble on for whatever, like say whatever I need to say. And when I'm finished, I do another short video where I'll do my thumbnail, where I'll smile, do something funny, and that's where I'm going to screenshot and grab the thumbnail from.
Mhm.
So after that, I take out the SD card, put it in my laptop, and that's where I pull my raw footage. I'll put my footage into Premiere Pro. I love Premiere Pro. I've been using it for a little while, so that's where I have the most experience with. I use that and then I just start editing. What I do first is I just cut out all my mistakes and my ums and my silence points. And then I get this video that's maybe like between 10 and 20 minutes long. At that point, I'll look back at the video and see where do I want to add something? Like, do I want to add a little pop up? Do I want to add like B-roll or footage of me, like a screen record? What do I want to add? How do I want to add this? And then after that, I get to work on the thumbnail. And I have so much fun working on the thumbnail. Although I have an idea in mind already, when I'm scripting out the video, right? When I'm writing out my ideas, I have an idea of what I'm going for. So after I'm done with the video, then I go make the thumbnail. So I'll go back to the raw footage I had where I was like doing funny stuff with my face to try to get that screen grab. I'll
Yep.
grab it. I mask myself out for these thumbnails and then I just put a cool background. Like all of the thumbnail work is just me after I've created the video. I know what the video is about and now I try to create a thumbnail that captivates that video. Then I upload. I'll upload it to YouTube. It takes a while, so I'll just either maybe like last night. Last night's a bad example, but I stayed up till 3 in the morning trying to get my video done that needed to go out today. So I uploaded it to YouTube overnight, went to sleep. When I woke up, I was able to do the title, the description, add my thumbnail, and then get it scheduled.
That's the hardest part for me is the description, and it's like all the typing. I'm like, I hate it. I hate doing
Yes.
that. But now
Yeah.
are you cutting down are you cutting down your longer form videos to put onto your TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram?
No, that's where I'm doing a poor job. I'm not doing a really good job of that. It's a lot to manage. It's a lot to do. And I just feel I don't know. I feel like my long form content is my long form content and I have to make a different short form content. I tried doing, where you remix your long form content to
Yes.
post and I didn't like it at all. So I really feel like I need to focus on short form and let that be short form and my long form let that be long form, but then I don't have the time to create the short form because I'm creating product review videos instead. Like if I only had YouTube and then short form, maybe I could do it, but I have YouTube then product reviews and then short form and that gets me.
No, I'm glad we're talking about this because there's a couple points. One, we can only do so much, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Before we need to hire somebody. Like I hired somebody to start doing my thumbnails because I'm not good at them. So
Okay.
I hired that out, But even emailing the person to be like, "Hey, can you make a thumbnail?" Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I won't do that. So then I just get a thumbnail of whatever it auto populates on YouTube. I like that you tested it out. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try to remix, see if it works, and if it doesn't, it's okay to stop
Yeah.
doing that because if it's
Yeah.
not working, why keep doing it?
Exactly. You can only focus your time on so much, right? So I'm focusing on what works. I'm a one person show. I don't want to hire anybody just yet. And so until then, I can only do what I can do.
At what point do you think you'd be like, okay, I need to hire?
Yeah. So I was thinking about that. I had never really seen pricing, like how much do they charge for, video editing. But I had talked to somebody recently and they were telling me they were paying $90 a video for their video editor to edit. What went through my mind was I'm doing, or my goal for this year, which I don't know how long I'll stick to it, is to do 3 videos a week.
That's
That's including my weekly vlog, which I want to post on over the weekend. And then I want to post 2 videos of evergreen content. So in total, that's 3 videos. Now, I cannot afford to pay $90 per video 3 times a week. You know, that's that's way more than my YouTube channel is even making, like generating me. So, once they just told me the number of $90, I have that in mind and I need to grow my YouTube channel a lot more before I can even think about an editor. I'm not going to say it's too much for me, but sometimes I feel like maybe editing is not my strong suit because I don't put a lot of edit like we were just talking about. Like I
mm,
don't put a lot of edits into my video. I do try to learn a little bit of new things, but my stuff is still so beginner editing that I know somebody else could probably do a whole lot better. In fact, I get a lot of DMs from video editors where they're trying to help me out and they're telling me that they can, make my channel better and all this stuff, but I don't even pay them really any attention. I just tell them I'm not interested because I know that's out of reach right now. I think it's just if my YouTube AdSense can support them or support a video editor, then maybe that at that point I can consider bringing one on. But I don't want to take money from other areas to pay for a video editor for YouTube. I know it's a long game, but I think if I keep working as much as I can, then when I pass it off to a video editor, it'll be that much more exciting.
Are you documenting your process along the way of like how you like your videos edited? What's your procedures like developing an SOP, a standard operating procedure?
No, I don't think I have it perfected yet to where like I feel like I need to document it. I'm That's also probably because I'm just me, right? Like I don't have a team of people, so I'm kind of just doing it. I want to be better. I want to have videos where I'm ahead, where I don't have to like stress out the night before because I want to upload on a certain day, like last night, for instance. I just need to get ahead. I need to get ahead of my videos, but I feel like once I get ahead or I have a couple videos ready to go, then I get lazy and I don't make any more content. It's the rush for me, like being having to upload a video tomorrow is what gets me to make the video and get it done.
It's like an addiction. It's like the adrenaline. It's like, "Ah, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get it done." But it's
Yeah.
unhealthy because when we don't have the energy or like as a female, I don't know. I have my own insecurities, right? If things aren't looking good, if I'm feeling bad about myself, like has that ever been an issue for you where you're like, I look like crap today. I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in the beginning of the year, January 1st, I was so excited. I was ready to hit the ground running, right? It's a new year. Let me get to posting my 3 videos a week. And then I get COVID. So I'm sick and I have no videos, backlog for me to upload while I'm sick. So I had to go about 2 weeks with no content. And so that kind of was a bummer, especially starting off the year that way. But also for me, like first thing in the morning when I wake up, normally it takes me a few hours before I want to start recording because I feel like, I look like I just woke up. Like
Yeah.
my eyes might be puffy or I look like I was sleeping. And so I don't like that. So normally my videos get filmed late at night.
Later in the day. And yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you with like not feeling it. So it is good to have that backlog of content, the just in case. But
Mhm.
even like if you're not feeling it, sometimes even if you have the backlog log of content, it's like you don't want to upload it because even that's too much.
Think it was around Thanksgiving. I had said happy Thanksgiving in one of these videos that I was going to save as a backlog. But then I was like, that doesn't make sense uploading it like next year sometime because I said happy Thanksgiving. And so that's kind of my focus with this evergreen content and my vlog. My vlog is for me to be more personable and say, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's having a great week and be more personable about the time period that we're in. But then my evergreen content, I'm trying not to say anything that is in regard to date, time, that way people can watch it forever.
Yeah, like having the Christmas tree in the background or
Yeah.
something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and being mindful of that and kind of like thinking ahead. It's so easy just to be thinking about the now, now, now.
Exactly.
And so I think like having the standard operating procedures, because like in my business, I do have that stuff and I have it written down because we're at the point now where we're doing like $200,000 a year with just
Yeah.
just the poop scooping, right? And so because of that, we have to hire. And in order to
Yeah.
hire it out, you got to have that stuff in black and white. And as a creative, I think that is probably one of the hardest things is doing that boring work.
Yeah. No, I agree. Actually started whenever I was in college, I started working for a small business and it was like so when we talk about thumbnails, I really enjoy thumbnails because I have a graphic design background. I don't think we really talked about that in this interview, but I have a graphic designer background because I used to work for a small business where I did screen print and embroidery work. So I would design t-shirts all day long and so I learned quickly about all this graphic design work and I'm able to use that and translate that to my thumbnails. But anyway, working for the small business, it taught me a lot. It taught me about, yeah, like operating procedures and how process is so important because
Hmm.
you have to be efficient with everything. You want to make sure everybody's using their time wisely, right? Making good use of their time, not just standing around because you're paying them. And this is a small business, time is money. So
Oh,
I learned
yeah.
a lot through that small business that I hope I can translate to my business one day. When I talk about my business, it's so funny because I don't really like you have your poop scoop in business and you know, that's your niche. I don't have that business idea yet. Right now, I'm just focused on YouTube. I'm focused on Amazon influencer program. I do freelance work where I can. I am trying to grow this product review thing to as big as possible, but it's kind of unknown territory. Something I said in my videos is there's no person I know that's notorious and known for being a product reviewer. And so if maybe that's me, but I don't know. I'm just, working, grinding every day, and I'm going to see where it takes me.
Well, when I think about you, I think you have a like it's a social media company, right? Because you're creating these videos, and under creating the videos, you're trying different things and then you're making videos about them.
Yeah.
So
So
I got the pooper scooper business, but then I also filed for an LLC, which is separate, which is KPS Media. And that's what the podcast and now the YouTube channel and all the other avenues, the other side of Erica, that's where she can live.
that's awesome. And maybe that's, the way I go as well. I'm kind of just feeling it out. I'm just going to keep pushing out content, keep because you learn so much. You go
Yeah.
into so many different avenues. And like even the Amazon influencer program, you'd be amazed. Like most people, we're doing the Amazon influencer program, making product review videos and getting on-site commission from Amazon. Well, there's kind of another side to that, and that's reaching out to Amazon sellers, and they need people to review their products. So I have deals with people where they send me products on a monthly basis and they're paying me a set amount of money, and they're sending me products for free that I then have to review, and I have deadlines. There's just so much going on. There's so much that I could do and see, and I'm just trying to expand myself because in the event that Amazon influencer program gets shut down, do I still have things that I can review? Do I still have ways to make money through this product reviewing service? And that's what I'm trying to grow.
Then you have all your videos all these other places. So that's why like when you're posting it on YouTube, then that's connected to Google, and then you also have your Instagram. I'm not sure if you're on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
No, I'm really not.
No. Girl,
But I
it's
do
so
have a
much.
separate YouTube channel where I put all the product review videos that are on my Amazon storefront. They're on that YouTube channel. So it's just uploading to YouTube is a lot harder than uploading to Amazon. So I have
Yeah.
over 1,000 videos on Amazon, but only like 100 or so on YouTube because I just haven't found the time to go through and upload all of those. The good thing is I have all of the videos saved to a hard drive. It's just about me uploading them. So maybe next I'll try to work on getting that YouTube channel monetized and just keep putting product reviews on there.
That's great. All right. Well, girl, I feel like we could talk
Oh
forever.
yeah, I'm sure we can.
So if there's somebody out there that they have their phone, they have their cell phone in their hand and they're like, I need to talk about my business, product, whatever. But they're scared. They're scared to record themselves. Like, what would you tell that person that's like, I'm too scared to post?
This is gonna sound funny, but embrace the suck. If you suck right now, if you feel like you suck, no matter what content you make, you're always going to look back on it and think that it sucks, think that it's cringy, think that, it's not good. So you really just have to press record. You have to find something within you to press record, make that piece of content and just post it. Because think about it, like if I look at the content that I'm making today, if I look at that in a year, I'm probably going to think that it sucks, even though in this current time I think it's the best piece of content I've ever made. So
Yeah.
no matter what, you're not going to like the content that you make. It just doesn't matter. You have to put it out there. You have to forget about it, and over time you're going to like the sound of your voice. You're going to be fine with the way you look on camera. You're not going to be as picky, and that's where the done is better than perfect thing comes in. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty. You're always going to suck. So
Hmm.
just post it.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Mr. Producer, when you're editing this video, for the video, insert my first YouTube video. I'll send that over to you. Hey, you guys, it's Erica with Krupin's Poop and Scoopin', and here's another episode of The Scoop with the Croup. Was that a good one? Was that good, you guys? I don't want to do this again. All right, so my first step when I'm getting ready is my blue booties. I like to put these on my feet before I go ahead and start scooping. I know a lot of people might not think that they're super necessary, but for me, they are essential because I like to play this fun little game called Step in the Freshest Pile in the Backyard, and it's a really good time.
All right, after I have my blue booties on, blue booties, ready to rock and roll, my next step is getting my bucket ready. All right, after I have my booties on, my bucket ready, I just grab my handy dandy little rake and get to scooping. That was so much fun, right? I mean, I had fun. I hope you guys had fun too. If you want to check out more stuff from KPS or from me, check us out on Facebook at Krupin Services LLC, Instagram, same thing, or you can check us out at www.poopitscoopin.com. Oh, and don't forget to check out our Muskegon location. That is at Muskegon KPS. So if you are from the Muskegon area or like the surrounding cities, check that page out because that's going to be more targeted towards your area. So please like, share, comment, and just join in on the fun. Thank you all so much. Have a good day. Later.
No, because mine was.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to. You got it. You have to start somewhere. You just have to literally hit record. And um, like you said earlier, when you're recording and you're talking to the camera, you feel like it's going to be a bad video. And then if you kind of like step away for a minute and come back to it, you're like, oh, what I
Mhm.
did say did make sense. I wasn't just
Yeah,
talking in a foreign language.
exactly. That's so true.
All right, cool. So, where can our listeners find you at?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at Mercedes Gomez Now. That's where I'm posting the most frequently. And I have, like I said, 3 videos a week. So you can find me on there. You can check out all my old stuff, my new stuff, what I'm doing, watch those weekly vlogs. But you can also find me on Instagram at at Mercedes Gomez Now as well. And those are the 2 platforms that I'm on most often.
No, I appreciate it. If you guys are watching, go over there, show her some love. I really, truly do love your channel, Mercedes. Like I said, I connected with you when my friend sent me your video, and it reminds me of like when I first started, very raw, very real, putting it out there, almost putting your heart out on camera. And in 2024, we need more of that because everything is so over processed right now and it seems so unauthentic. But
Exactly.
you're doing such a good job. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
No, thank you. I'm so glad you found me, and your words mean so much to me. This is the kind of stuff that can keep somebody going, and it definitely keeps me going.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I try to drop a new episode every single Monday here on The Scoop. And until next time, bye.
Bye.